Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for another fun-filled week here on Operation Status Quo. How we doing out there? I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's nice to see you. Nice to be here. God bless you. See you next week. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. It was a great time. We had a good time. Yeah, we had a good time. All right. Hey-o. All right, let me get into everything real quick. First of all, you could see in the background, I got some signs put up there for that little corner there where I'm going to record some videos with the guitar and stuff at some point. That's what I'm working on. You could see because you've been watching the shows as I've come back here over the last couple weeks. So step by step, we're doing things. I even got more signs on the floor there. You see those back there? They're my little ones, but I don't think I'm going to put any more up. I think that's enough for the ambiance I'm trying to create at this time. But anyway, I keep saying I'm going to do the show about the music. I am going to do a show about the music. I'm going to give the whole story of, how I got into that project. I mean, it's nothing like, groundbreaking, but it's fun. It's fun to explore because, here on Operation Status Quo, I am Pete Palma, by the way. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. This is the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. And as I always say, what are you doing out there right this very moment to create your own very own flow of quo? Because it's up to you to make the decisions to live life the way you want to live it. Of course, not infringing and hurting others. That's the most important takeaway. But you still, other than that, are open to do absolutely anything that you like and what resonates with your heart. I'm just watching my cat. He's been hawking me a little bit. Well, he's not hawking me. He's catting me, I guess, because he's a cat. But he's sitting up over here. You can't see him. He's off to the side. But you never know if he's going to pounce or something at some point. We're going to do the music show coming up probably this week. I'll tell that story and just to speak on this quickly, and then we'll get into today's topic. But my second song, All I Know, is going to be released this Friday. So make sure you look for that on all your favorite streaming platforms. Apple Music, I don't know, iHeart, Spotify, I don't know, wherever, all that crap out there. Wherever you go find your music, it's out there. It'll be out there on Friday. So I'm really excited about this one. This song's fun. I really like it. It's a little bit different than the first one. So, anyway, I like them all. So the entire album's almost complete, and but I'll get into that. I'm not going to talk about that today. That's the whole point of the other show. But PetePalma.com, you can follow me there as far as the music goes, and Facebook and Instagram, you can find me there too for that stuff as well. So today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 21st of October in the good year 2024, and today's program is entitled "What's on Your Face?" What is on my face? A bunch of crap. A bunch of crap is on my face, really. All right, so this is what happened. I'm not big into the social media. I try, first of all, the last show that I did was, a toast to Drost when I was talking about, me being triggered by some of the things that, he said online and, always having that realization of, that we're more than just the embodiment and not to let your emotions get the best of you, not to let, particular things, take you off course of being the best that you can be, not to be reactive, not to be over emotional with certain things, right? I preach this all the time and I really believe it, but I'm human just like everybody else. I think I am. I think I got a little bit of human in me, and of course, I falter. I falter as well at times. I want to be, it's funny because it's part of the thing of with doing the show and everything. And, I go back and forth with oh, I shouldn't say it. It's really the craziest thing. I go from I should just totally disregard all social media, YouTube, everything. I should be like a monk, totally quiet, not say anything. And then I go to the other extreme of where I just want to, say, everything. And, this show really is, me always trying to find that balance because, everything I'm saying to you, it doesn't mean I'm some, you know what I mean? I'm speaking what I feel in my heart and how I resonate with life and, the view I take on life, to, make it a better way of living for myself and everyone around me and each other, and the whole kit and caboodle, as it were. But I still have my things too. And after I just went on that whole thing about on the last show, about not being triggered and all. So I went to I'm going to get into this because what's on your face, the title "What's on Your Face" has to do with a Facebook page I made, a Facebook post I made yesterday. In conjunction, that post was also about wearing a mask. So what's on your face, what's on your Facebook, what's on your face. See what I'm saying? Like the title kind of worked out there. But long story short, please, right? If I can just get through this so I can let you guys go about your day. But I was in the grocery store. And, this is not like a big, I see this all the time when I go to the grocery store. Somebody, some people do wear masks when they're out, in public places. I see that, not a huge number, but people do. And, but I saw someone that I know from my neighborhood that I see around, and I've spoken to sometimes and all. And, it's funny, and I'll get into the post because the post really generated, some kind of back and forth with some people. And I really just want to explain, the heart of what I'm talking about, It's like Facebook is so, social media is so crazy. You say one thing, but like people take, a whole nother aspect of it that really doesn't mean anything about what you mean. Like, when I go on there and talk about, how ridiculous it is to wear a mask. Like, I don't mean like, well, if, you got, health issues or I don't know, whatever. If it's your decision, it doesn't mean you're a bad person or anything. I take it very personally, I take it very personally, the mask, because, when COVID happened back then and the way everything went and, I'm not going to get into all the do, but you guys know, the BS that went on and, to force people that way to, make people stand 6 feet apart, to put people, you can't come into the store if you don't have a mask on. Like these kind of things, are just insane, and to me, ultimately that whole situation was more about to see, how the public would react, the ability to control people, to, because of fear, to have people act in compliance with, whether they want to do it or not, so that's why I'm so passionate about it. So I saw this person and, this guy's a nice guy. I've talked to him before. There's no problem. Whatever his reason, doesn't mean I would never talk to him again or anything, but the way I word things on Facebook, because, you got to be a little bit on Facebook, right? So, but anyway, and but I was really surprised because I've talked to him and I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was on that side. See there, I got to be a little bit because this one, I didn't think he was on that side. But anyway, so I posted about it on Facebook, and then it got into things with the crowd. So let me, and it wasn't like a horribly negative post, but I can understand because the truth is, and this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm saying this. Like I encourage everybody to always put forth positive, and when you see things that bother you, it doesn't mean like I should be better too. Sometimes like it makes me agitated when I go that way because I try to put a lot of inspirational stuff and try to reach people in a positive way, and then I contribute to the negative as well. So that's why I'm saying I'm not perfect. That's why here on Operation Status Quo, all we can do is observe the status quo of life, right? Then we have to flow with it. Sometimes we make mistakes, and then we create our own flow. So we go back and fix our horrible ways. Let's see here. Let me go to my post. I don't know if I guess I should. I can read it out. Like it's not that bad. But I had posted. And remember, you guys, anybody who knows me, knows how I mean things. So, that's the thing, too, with Facebook. Most of the people on my page don't even really know me as a person, know my personality and what I mean by the way I say things. Anyway, so I posted this yesterday, and I'll go through some of the responses, too. But remember, I always protect the lives of the innocent, so there's be no names, so don't be nervous or anything. I don't bash on people that way, except for when I did a Toast to Drost. I did mention his name, but I was very honest, and I made it clear what it was about. I didn't attack the man, all right? So anyway, this is the post I put yesterday about the guy I saw at the grocery store with the mask. I went to the grocery store today and saw one of my neighbors there. He was wearing a mask. So disappointing, just like, how right there, like, how the elitist in a way is. That's like, oh, it's like your parents used to do too. No, I'm not angry. I'm not mad at you. I'm just very disappointed. Just very disappointed that you're a total piece of piece of crap. I'm sorry, I just got a text that distracted me. I'm working with someone, and this guy just sends me a text telling me he's coming out tomorrow to do the job. It's like, no, you're not coming out tomorrow to do the job. Like, I'm not ready, okay? Like, anyway, he said, I'm talking about, now I got to do another show about that. It's like, anyway, all right. So, so disappointing. Just when you think you know someone, then I say, he always seems so nice when we talk, but there he was, all masked up in the store, publicly displaying the symbol of obedience and weakness. The positive thing with the mask is that it shows you who's who right up front. You know what you're dealing with right away. After all this time, and there's still those buying into this crap. So crazy, I said, because I do think it's crazy. If you think about prior to COVID, you would never see somebody out in a mask, generally, like, maybe you would, find people like nursing homes or something, I get it. People with like bad bronchial conditions or something, Anyway, long story short, so it did, of course, elicit some responses. But here's the thing that really got to me with it, is that, one side of it were people talking about, politically, like a big part of the it's really interesting how it all envelops into this thing. And I want to make this clear. The reason I'm doing this today, what's on your face, is because, ladies and gentlemen, the point I'm making is that, like, they forced us, and let me take one step back again, and the main point that I always try to put out there, what is our world? We're really energy beyond the physical, and I guess, like, and this is my problem too, in a way, like, I don't see life this way. I don't see life as, like, serious that way, like, oh my gosh, this is the way things are, this is the way things have to be, this is, to me, I think everything, and I've said this a gazillion times, everything really is kind of in flux, based on your perception, based on your thoughts, based on, and there's soul contracts involved too, right? I mean, I'm going to get into that because one person got into the health stuff about, pre-existing conditions and cancer and and it's even bigger than all that. I mean, like, each of us have a soul contract when we come into this life, right? We chose to be here. We chose the parameters of our existence. I try to promote living healthy and doing things in a positive way in that regard. But my insides can explode tomorrow and I can be dead. I have no idea, just plenty of people who lived lives that were very healthy and natural and such, exercise, ate well, and still wind up with, cancer or something like that. But, I think sometimes, like, those aspects are bigger than, what did you eat, or did you live next to high tension cables? Did you grow up under high tension cables? Sometimes I think it's bigger, than those things, because the true essence, your energy, your spirit, really, it's built to do what it's supposed to do. So, if you're supposed to get cancer or have some sort of illness, if you're supposed to die old or die young, if you're supposed to meet this person or have this job, it's all part of the energy field that's created for the observation, of your existence. See, I mean, that's how I ultimately, like, see everything. And it's so frustrating because, like, I feel, I don't mean this. That's why I say I should be a monk and never say anything, because I feel like everybody's, like, on this level, seeing, like, this level, like, and I'm looking at things and I'm seeing, like, more, but everybody's, like, focused on, like, it's like there's a whole pizza and everybody's just looking at the damn pepperoni. And don't you understand? There's more than pepperoni out there, for God's sake. And on top of it, the pepperoni's the thing that's giving you the cancer in the first place. Please, people, help me out. Hey-o. So, all right. So I said that, and then a couple of people got into, politics-wise, making it look like it's, one thing or the other, which is fine. And then, the one person kind of got into it with me for wearing the mask, and this is the thing too. Like, I just think people don't really understand, and I'm no expert. It was my grandfather that had a progressive illness, that lasted, like 7-8 years before he passed away, and through the what was learned by our family through his experience of going to doctors and taking meds and blah, 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 and is how we came into the way of life that, we live, and the way of life that I try to live today. I'm not perfect, living some perfect holistic life sitting, on a mountaintop, like, meditating all day. I do negative behaviors too, but, I mitigate, I think about, like, what I'm putting in my body. I mean, as far as eating goes, like, I'm never eating Doritos or, I would never even think to get any of that that crap, like, soda, nothing like that, So, but, I enjoy, having a bourbon. So, like, I'm just saying I'm not totally pure and clean, but, it's just a balance of things. But like the most people just think like, they're just eating all that processed crap. And I'm not saying everybody, but people are eating processed crap. People aren't getting enough sleep. People are living stressed. They're not getting enough water. They're not getting sunlight. There's just like a lot of factors that contribute, to the body breaking down and having chronic conditions. And that's the thing. Like, this person went into here with me on Facebook is talking about, people chronic conditions. Like I'm thinking, I'm not even talking about that with the mask. What I'm talking about is that people are putting on a mask now, like, because the fear has been built into them from what happened with COVID, okay, what was done in that situation. And then they tell you another variant out, and I've said this, there's another thing I've said a gazillion times, is that, there's been flu, whatever, illnesses that have been around forever. You know what I'm saying? So, no one was living this way before, wearing a mask like all the time. Like again, for me personally, I can give an F. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's perfect. We all have our journey. It bothers me to see a mask because I feel that people are doing it out of fear. As opposed to, oh no, I'm, if you're spray painting something, I could see putting a mask on. You're running, you're a weed whacker, you're a leaf blower, or something. Maybe you put a mask on. Like, I'm not saying there's not practical purposes. You're a fireman going into a burning home, put a mask on. It's like you're a scuba diver, put a mask on and breathe, for God's sake, breathe. Hey-o. But, I was speaking on behalf of that in that regard, of like, I just want to empower people to like be true. It's who am I to empower anybody or tell anybody what to do? I mean, that's part of it too. I get it. I'm just some schlep, talking on YouTube, but I just really believe that there's more. And, when I see, especially everything, it's just part of it. Everything that's going on, in the world today, it's just, and everybody's just so fixated. Like even with the politics, they're just so fixated. They're so fixated on, this election and Trump and Harris and who's good and who's bad and what's right and what's wrong. And it's like none of that, like, it's fine to, I have opinions too and all, but I mean, like, why we engage so deeply and me, I'm saying guilty too, right? Because why am I putting a post up there to criticize somebody, for having a mask on? I didn't have to say anything. I could just let it go. But, I wanted to push buttons a little bit because sometimes I'm that way too. We're all human, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to come on today and say that because, Facebook, I try really hard to put myself out in a way that is, welcoming everyone. And, every once in a while I fall short. And I think a lot of times too, because people know that I, quote unquote support, Trump, that, anytime I put anything about something that I feel is a truth or an empowering message, I think they always take it as like, oh, a right wing, I don't know, like it's just a weird thing. Like everything's about that, and it's just like, it's not about that. Like, and it just, I don't know. When I see people, wearing that, like I know it's because they're scared, they're scared, not everybody, but generally, like this person that I saw in the store, this person doesn't need to be wearing that, and like, but like, why? Because they said there's another variant around, and you know what I mean? I don't know. I just like to see people, I guess, and it's me, because and I'm going to finish right here, but like, it's me, because I'm saying I would like, blah, blah, blah. And that's the truth. It's like, this is the world. The point operation status quo is we observe and we flow and we create our own flow. And we just, we meet the people where they are. And some people are going to, be with us in certain levels, and some people, aren't. And that's just the way it is. I guess from, again, to finish with saying but I mean, like, from my observation, my perspective, I would just like everyone to come from a perspective from the beginning of the realization, like knowing that you chose your life and the circumstances and parameters within within, and everything that's happening to you is by your design, whether you realize it or not, whether it's conscious or subconscious, right? If we can just start there, then, all this other stuff, there's some of the comments that came back to me, and I feel like, I could tell people are agitated and they're, trying to say that, and I feel bad because, everybody's nice. I'm not looking to argue with anybody. I'm just really trying to me, I feel like I'm trying to, like, I feel like Mel Gibson in, Braveheart. They can't take away our freedom! You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'm just big on that. I'm just big on freedom. Like, it's fine. Whatever goes on in the world, fine. There's a bunch of choices. Everybody can do whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, initially, our sovereignty, our oneness, our connection with source, everything, that trumps everything, just to go back to Trump. But that really does trump, everything. We have to start there, and then we can fiddle around, with all the other stuff. So, I guess what got me more so, too, to do this today, on top of, like, me feeling badly that I put a negative, in a sense, out, is just that, like, I want people to almost understand that, like, the intention behind what I was trying to say was, to say, I don't know, F this authority, and we're going to stand up and we're going to, fight for our freedoms. That's what the mask represents to me. When I get mad about the mask, I don't care. It's not about anything else except for, the forcefulness of having us to cover ourselves in shame and fear, and to be compliant to a system that's designed to kill us and is lying to us like 24/7. So, anyway, that's it. So I'm going to try to be, I wanted to clear the air here. Thank you so much for allowing me to clear the air here today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. Hey-o. But anyway, I'm going to be trying to do these shows at least twice a week, maybe three. I'm not going to, I was doing Monday through Friday before, but, I'm back in this groove, and whatever kind of comes to me when the feeling's right, as it were, if it's more days a week, more, if it's less days a week, less, whatever. But those of you guys who followed me from the very beginning, you probably recognize some of those signs from back there. But yeah, it's nice to have them hanging on the wall. Doesn't it look good? See, I like how I space them out and everything. I try to make it kind of, kind of fun. Kind of fun. Something's got to be fun on this show. Might as well be the background, because it sure as hell might not be me, All right, so peace and love to everyone, for real. If you get agitated with me, I'm really sorry. I don't mean any harm. I'm outspoken, I'm a little bit sarcastic. I'm a little jerky sometimes. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm a button pusher a bit, but I think that helps to, get people move. I'm not saying, maybe it does help me. Again, should I be a monk? Put it in the comments. I'm either going to keep doing what I'm doing, or I'm going to become a monk. It's really one or the other, All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for your time to be with me here today on Operation Status Quo. Don't forget PetePalma.com. You can check me out there for the music. The song's coming out. Coming out this Friday. So make sure you're prepared for that. And take the time to like, subscribe, share if you haven't done so already. Make sure you send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. And until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.
Is a boulevard of 10 short